What happens when the woman everyone wrote off returns with millions? Chapter 1. The Crash *. Rachel Monroe had always been the it girl of her circle, a dynamic fashion entrepreneur with a popular boutique in Seattle's Capitol Hill, a loyal customer base, and a glowing online presence. She dressed impeccably, spoke confidently, and lived in a waterfront condo with floor-to-ceiling windows that made sunsets feel like personal gifts from the universe. By 31, Rachel had launched her third boutique and was featured in a local 30 Under 30 inches list. She was the one hosting rooftop parties, giving business advice over wine, and getting texts from former classmates asking how she made it all look so easy. Then came 2020. At first, she told herself the lockdowns were temporary, that sales would bounce back. But as weeks turned into months, Rachel found herself surrounded by unopened boxes of unsold inventory, rent notices piling up, and bills she could no longer ignore. By the summer of 2021, she had to close all 3 stores, her savings drained trying to save a sinking ship. Loans defaulted, credit cards maxed. Her once busy phone went eerily silent. And finally, the moment she'd feared, bankruptcy, the filing was public. The headlines not kind. Former colleagues and friends started sending veiled messages. Hope you're doing okay, Rachel. Whoa. Saw the news. That's rough. Or worse, no message at all. At a former friend's dinner party, someone even joked, Rachel's investment now is probably just hoping her landlord doesn't raise the rent. They laughed. Chapter 2. Rock Bottom and Ramen Noodles *. Rachel moved into a tiny one-bedroom apartment in Tacoma, far cry from her sleek Seattle condo. The walls were thin. The bathroom tiles were chipped. The neighbors were loud, but it was all she could afford. She started over, quietly. No more social media. No more trying to impress anyone. She picked up part-time work as a virtual assistant, then began freelancing as a remote fashion consultant for an online boutique. She read obsessively finance blogs, Reddit forums, anything about investing, money, and the economy. It started one rainy Tuesday night when she stumbled upon a YouTube video titled, How I Turned $500 into $50,000 in the Stock Market. Skeptical, yes, but desperate enough to keep watching. Absolutely. By midnight, she'd opened her first investment account. Chapter 3. Learning the game. At first, Rachel made mistakes. She bought random stocks on hype. She sold out too early. She bought back too late. She lost money more than she wanted to admit. But for every bad trade, she wrote down what she'd done wrong. She treated the stock market like a full-time job. She took online courses, read Warren Buffett's letters, listen to podcasts while cleaning. She shadowed traders on Twitter and learned about options, ETFs, and dividends. Her budget was strict. Every extra dollar went into investing. No new clothes, no Starbucks, just rice, beans, and the occasional ramen noodle night. And slowly, her portfolio began to grow. She focused on companies with real fundamentals. She studied earnings reports like scripture. She didn't chase memes or hype. She hunted value. Within a year, her $3,000 in savings had grown to over $12,000. Small? Yes, but to Rachel it was her first victory. Chapter 4. The Flip *. By 2023, Rachel's freelancing was paying her bills, but it was her investments that were quietly transforming her life. She'd diversified into real estate investment trusts, REITs, dividend stocks, and some small but promising tech companies. When one of them, a renewable energy company, announced a major partnership, its stock price tripled in 2 weeks. Rachel's $4,000 position became $12,000. She reinvested the profit, and that's when things accelerated. She bought into the market dip during a correction. She studied macroeconomic trends, stayed patient while others panicked, and reaped the rewards when the market rebounded. By 2024, Rachel's portfolio hit 6 figures. She had no employees, no offices, no social media clout, just her laptop, her brain, and a growing portfolio that no one saw coming. But the universe wasn't done yet. Chapter 5. Full circle at a downtown networking event in early 2025, Rachel stood quietly in the back, sipping water. She didn't expect to know anyone, but then came the familiar voices. Rachel, oh my God, it's been forever. It was Ashley and Brianna, two women who'd been regulars at her boutique, then ghosted her post-bankruptcy. They were polished, dripping in designer labels, clearly thriving on Instagram influence. We heard you disappeared, Ashley said with a tight smile. I took a break. Focused on some investments, Rachel said simply, like crypto. Brianna asked, laughing, no, stock market. Long-term growth strategies, compounded returns. That sort of thing. They blinked. Rachel gave a polite smile and moved on. Later that night, an older man approached her. Gray hair, sharp suit, kind eyes. I overheard your conversation, he said. Mind if I ask what sectors are you watching right now? They talked for an hour. Turns out, he was a venture capitalist. Impressed by her knowledge and track record, he offered to connect her with a private equity firm seeking fresh analysts. Rachel declined. I prefer working independently. Chapter 6. The Explosion. By mid-2025, Rachel's portfolio crossed $1.2 million. She was methodical, reinvesting gains, diversifying into foreign markets, and buying undervalued stocks others ignored. She didn't brag, didn't post online. But those who laughed began to hear whispers. One day, she got a DM on LinkedIn from a woman who once mocked her publicly during a brunch. Hey Rachel, I've been hearing amazing things about what you've been doing in investing. Would love to grab coffee sometime and maybe pick your brain. Rachel didn't reply. She no longer needed validation. She had peace, power, and options. Chapter 7. The rise they didn't see coming. By now, Rachel